at that time, like I said, I was researching which dealerships I wanted to work for, which brands, all that stuff, and I had compiled a list of all the top dealerships based on the Google review ratings, based on the area, based on the brand. I created cover letters for them, but I did have a stack of 20 resumes that I just wanted to go and hand out to all the dealerships because yes, I was targeting those dealerships that I wanted to work for, but at the same time, as a backup plan, as a plan B, I was like, I'm also going to go and just hand out these resumes in case those dealerships don't call me back. I do want to get employed
Just in case.
as soon as possible, right? So I covered
Right.
all my bases that way. So I was going around, I handed all these resumes, and I was done for the day. Handed out 19 resumes. I had one resume left. Crazy, one resume left. And I'm driving back home, and I've grown up on the border of Markham and Scarborough my whole life, here in Canada at least. But I'm driving home. Anyone knows Markham and Finch has a Mazda dealership, Agent Court Mazda, right across from the Kandahar. And I didn't know anything about Mazda. Like, I am not a car guy. I don't know about cars. Like, obviously now, after having spent 6 years in the automotive industry, I've gained, a lot of knowledge about vehicles and, the history behind them and all these other models and stuff like that. Because I was in that industry, I had to learn about it. And
Right.
before that, I was not a car guy. I like nice cars. I like nice, just like I like nice things. But, I wasn't too particular or specific about knowledge on all these different brands. And Mazda was definitely not one of them. Nor did I want to work for the company. So I had one resume left. And I'm the type of guy,
Right.
I want to finish the job. So I'm like, you know
Right.
what? Fine. Let's just go into the dealership. I got one resume left. Let me just drop it off and I'll leave. Now, this is crazy, but every other dealership that I had went to, I actually went in with the resume, and when I gave it to the receptionist, I asked to speak to the managers because I wanted to introduce myself. And at Mazda,
Right.
I literally dropped off the resume. This is a true story. The receptionist is still there to this day. That Helen. I drop off
Right.
the resume, and I started walking away, and she called me from back. She's like, "Hey, hold on," and I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Do you have a moment?" I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Can you please just sit in the lounge?" I was like, "Okay." She went and got a manager right on the spot because, praise this lady. She saw something in
Shout out
me.
to Helen.
Shout out to Helen. She saw something in me that, stood out to her. And she was like, this guy looks like, he would be a good fit. So she went and got a manager on the spot. And she comes back to me. She's like, "Can you interview right now?" In my head, I'm like, I am not prepared for an interview right now. Like, I've had a long morning handing out resumes. I was dressed up and stuff. And that's another note. If you're going to go and hand out resumes and you're not dressed up, you're not dressed to impress, your resume will get thrown out. And
Okay, wait. Define dressed to impressed. Wait, define that, bro. Because
dress your
people
best.
don't know.
Dress your best. Put on a suit. Like, if you're going for, especially for job interviews and handing out resumes, you want to create the right impression. And if nothing tells you the truth behind that, it should be the story that I'm about to tell right now, right? Literally,
Okay.
just because of the way that I was dressed, this lady looked at me and said, "Okay, this guy deserves an interview." So
Nice.
when I was a sales manager, I was a hiring manager, and people used to come in all the time, t-shirt, jeans, and I have no shame in saying this, but if I saw a person come in, I don't care what their resume said. If you came in a shirt and jeans, the receptionist would come in and hand me your resume, and I would take it and I would put it in the trash can immediately. I'm not even looking at your resume because you obviously don't care about, how you're presenting yourself, right? So you're
Right.
not going to care when you present yourself to my clients. That was my mindset. I was like, I'm
Right.
not taking you seriously. So any tip for young individuals out there, make sure you're dressed to impress. Yeah, we're in 2025 and, your skills and stuff go beyond the way you dress, but there's some principles that are timeless. And this is one of them. Okay. So, she asked me to interview on the
It's
spot.
that first impression, right?
First impression is everything.
It's the first impression.
First impression is everything.
Right.
And yes, you in life, you'll have times in certain situations where you can make up for a lack of, but, especially in the professional world, sometimes you only have one chance. And in life,
Right.
sometimes you only have one chance. So do your
Right.
best to create the right first impression. But she brings out the finance manager, and I'm like, oh man, look at this guy. He's got like, he's Gucci down. He's wearing Ferragamo belt, nice watch on, nice suit. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be something else. I'm not prepared for this. But he interviewed me on the spot, and the rest was history. And that gentleman
Nice.
played a pivotal role in my growth professionally.